Bobby, Rich and Tommy got the rhythm and the hype. Talking about the noise brigade, stirring up noise all night. They dive deep into the madness. No topic left unturned, from corn dog to Johnny Bench. It's the knowledge we have learned, LRG have learned. LRG shipping woes, they shed light on it all. No cryptids left unknown, they'll tear down every wall. The rebels of the podcast world, breaking all the rules, giving voice to the unheard, making sure no one falls. From wrestling to mysteries, they cover it all. Bobby, Rich, and Tom, they'll never let us fall.
What's up, man?
Hello.
You know, the cool thing is that we actually have intro music now, so we could like lead in. And I think I did an episode or two with AI generated intro music. I think I did another one, so this might be different. I don't remember. We'll see. Or it might be the same. Or it might be the same one. We'll just see what happens. But that's been fun. Suno.com, suno.com. So something to check out.
Oh, and this one, speaking of websites, this one will be on onlyfans.com, as I'm not wearing a shirt.
Yeah, this is going to be our most highly touted.
I think if it works for Bert Kreischer, it should work for me.
That's right. Why not?
Yeah.
We were talking right before we started recording. We were trying to think. There's basically some Nintendo non-announcements. Very interesting that we just chit-chatted once again about the next iteration of the Switch, and you kind of had a thought on that based on some of their recent happenings.
Yeah, so there's I'm going to look it up so that I don't butcher it, but there has been an announcement that's not an announcement, basically, of when the new Switch is coming out, the Switch 2, if you will. I don't know what it's going to be called, but they said that it's coming out. Oh, shit. I can't find it now. But basically, within the next 4 fiscal quarters at some point. Now, I want to say Q1 of 2025 or Q4 of 2024.
Q4 2024 just really sounds like it would be the right time. We've discussed this.
Yeah.
We both know, I think we all know, there is no PS6 on the horizon for this Christmas season. There is no Xbox that I'm aware of. The only thing that's really rumored, and a much older system at this point, is the Nintendo Switch, and they don't have anything other than rumors at this point, but they're heavy rumors, and this would make the most sense. Because I do think in 25 and beyond, you're going to get slammed with not just new hardware from Sony and maybe even Microsoft. I know we've talked about that before. But you're going to get a lot of really crazy software titles as well. Next iterations of games, Grand Theft Auto and these other, huge platforms at this point. This is the time, right? I mean, to me, it makes the most sense. Let's knock it out now.
So here's the actual tweet from the president of Nintendo. It says, "We will make an announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of the Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024. Thank you, pop-up ad. But please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation."
Okay. So just sometime during this fiscal. So at least, wow, that's about the most transparency they've ever had.
Right. Nintendo is famously cloak and dagger about this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And to a fault. But they're kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit, which is good because we all want to know.
Well, I think you look at the timeline. What do you say? 9 years since it was originally announced.
Yeah.
So you have all these rumors swirling. Of course, you say, oh, we've got a direct coming in June. Of course, that to me would be your main event.
Right.
So that's probably why they put that out there. Like, hey, look, we're not talking about it there. But knowing Nintendo, it would not shock me if they talked about it the next day.
Right. And that's what I'm thinking. Well, and look, June is typically a dead month. It's the start of the dead season for game releases. You don't get too many AAA releases during the summer, or at least you didn't used to. Maybe that's kind of changing a little bit now with more of the online world that we live in. But that's when E3 used to be, which is officially dead, I guess. Which sucks because E3 was always a fun time of year. But some of the companies are still kind of keeping it alive by having their own little mini like events where they're announcing stuff and announcing, oh, such and such games are coming out and this is a refresh. But if you think back to years past, that's where Microsoft announced the Xbox 360. It's where Microsoft announced the Slim, like the 360S, which was the redesign that had the built-in the big hard drive. It had the refreshed system. It had built-in network capability, built-in Wi-Fi, and like most systems have been announced. It started off at Consumer Electronics Show, was the big gaming industry event, and then this split off on its own and became its own thing, where it's E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. And for years and years and years, it was this huge thing. Like G4 TV used to do big things there, and like all the big tech companies, all the big gaming companies used to be there. So it was a huge thing. And now, sorry, my puppy decided he needs to put its head on my lap. Hi, puppy.
Oh.
Go lay down, okay? You good boy. Daddy's busy talking about nerdy crap. Good boy. Go lay down. All right. But yeah, so with no E3 means no real urge, I guess, on the part of the consumer. Wow. Words are hard. No big rush on the part of the companies that make the consoles to have these big announcements to compete with each other all at the same time in June. They can wait till they're ready. They don't have to push things out ahead of time just to one up each other.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think you're on to something with living in the online. Yeah, see, same thing. It's coming through now. Online world that we live in. No, you're right. There is no pressure there anymore. A lot of it is, one rumor gets out, and that rumor all of a sudden becomes fact pretty quickly, and it just spreads like wildfire. And then within 6 months, it's like, oh yeah, well, it's already out there. Like, we're buying it. Which started off of one rumor. You can point at many things that have happened that way. So that excitement level, unfortunately, just isn't there anymore. It's like that big announcement because people speculate and rumor all the time, and then, like I said, one little leak is all it takes to just kind of destroy it, which sucks. It does. But part of it being the online world that we live in, that's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
But prior to all this, when we were, disconnected, if you will, not like we have it now. Of course, there were still big surprises because we weren't constantly connected to every last little piece. So, yeah, it sucks that E3's gone. For various reasons. But who knows? Maybe it'll spawn off into something else, and maybe that was, just, hey, it's time.
Maybe. I mean, and you know what it's like and I'll put it this way for sports fans that aren't necessarily gamers. It's kind of like hot stove season in baseball. It's kind of like draft all right, the draft, the NFL draft to a degree, but also the legal tampering period in the NFL.
Right.
You got all these rumors, all these possibilities. Well, is Nintendo going to release this, or is there? I heard Metroid Prime 4 is finally coming out. The game's never coming out, by the way. It's never, ever, ever. I don't care how many times they announce it. They announce it. It's never coming out. It's Duke Nukem Forever.
Forever, yeah,
Is
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so much hype around it and so much speculation. It's fun. It's like the speculation becomes a cottage industry for all these websites like Kotaku and Polygon and OneUp.com and all that stuff. So it's just fun. And IGN.
Right, and those are all of my some of my most frequented websites too, and really not for the sheer fact of looking up articles about games that already exist. The other side of it, stuff that doesn't exist. That's the whole reason why I look at that stuff. It's like reading, the old Lords of Pain. I'm always going to refer to that as that. WrestlingHeadlines.com. It's always referring to that's I don't really care too much about what's transpired. I care about what's going to happen. I care about who's going to come out, who's going to pop behind the curtain. And I think that's the same thing. I think that's just human nature. We want to see, whether it's a video game, a wrestler, or a baseball player that's going to get, traded or whatever. We just want to see something exciting and different and, just whatever, something to stir the pot. It's
right.
But the same thing with going back kind of on the Nintendo thing. I was chatting about this because I was kind of confused, thought there was an announcement, but there wasn't. It was just an article that it's time for a Super Mario Maker game to be made that's 3D. And I firmly believe that obviously should be where that goes. I think that would be awesome. How they pull it off, I don't know which route they take with it. Being Nintendo, I could see them taking it in multiple directions if they actually did do something like that. But I don't know. What's your take on that? Do you think that would be a fun game to play, or just too conceptually cool, but to pull it off, and maybe for your gamer that's into those sort of things, maybe just it's cool, but just too difficult to mess with?
See, I think it would probably be cool. I don't know if the hardware's there yet, honestly. Because think about it, we're doing this with 2D sprites. We're doing this with, or 3D rendered since we got the new Super Mario Brothers kind of stuff in there. But dude, I don't know. I used to really be into Little Big Planet. And one of the things that I thought was super cool was, oh man, you can make your own levels and there's all these different things. And, and that came out back on PS3. So, and I guess the Wii U was, no, I guess the Wii U was almost on par with the PS3, but not quite. No, I guess it wasn't at all, actually, now that I think about it. But in any event, the level processing power I just don't think is there for a 3D version of it. I think it would be cool, but even with Little Big Planet, which I again thought was amazing, thought was an amazing game. The concept was great, everything about it was great, and games like that came off of that same thing, like I forget what the Little Big Planet Racer was called, but there was one that was it was by the same developers who did Little Big Planet, but it was a kart racer, and you could design your character, you could design the kart, you could design the entire racetrack and everything. And I think that kind of stuff's really cool. I'm not creative enough to get enjoyment out of it.
No,
just like with the Super Mario Maker, I thought that was the coolest idea ever. I was like, oh dude, this is so awesome. Like, I'm super into this. And I bought it for the Wii U, and I played it a couple times, and I played some levels that other people made, and I was like, all right, that was neat. And then I never touched it again.
Right. And I almost think, and here's the thing, again, I could be wrong. I think you have to be really into it. That's your thing, or it's really aimed for not a younger audience. Younger minded folks tend to be ultimately, in my opinion, much more creative than we are, or folks that are older than us even. And I hate to even make that a statement, but I think that's just the reality of it. I see some of the most creative things come from my own children, way more creative than ever I could ever imagine. And in fact, my son, who's Tommy, who's 10, he was big with Super Mario Maker. Loved that game. I don't, or the second one, the
Switch
most
one.
right, the most recent one for the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know that I touched that game other than playing levels that he designed for me. That there was no way I was ever going to beat them. Like, I think he purposely did it, but that was it. Was my experience with that game. Like, wow, this is awesome. I'm not going to sit there and create anything. When I was
Right.
like, if that came out when I was 10, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I remember countless hours spent on the track maker in Excite Bike back in the day.
mm-hmm. Oh,
But
dude, how cool is that? And that was
yeah,
what that came out in, like, 84.
yeah, that was one of the black box games came out with the original NES in the States. Obviously it was out for a little bit prior in Japan, but um, it's and you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head with the creativity thing. Like, I feel really bad because there's been times Peyton's been like, Uncle Bobby, let's play Transformers together. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the creativity to sit there and play with toys. Like I don't. I wish I did, but I don't like.
It's
Hi,
like
I'm
it's like
Optimus
it's like it's
Prime.
gone, right?
Right. It's like it just disappears, and I hate that. I hate that so much because I would love nothing more than to sit there and be like, all right, dude, let's play Transformers. I got a bunch of Transformers. You got a bunch of Transformers. Let's set up armies and have them fight against each other and stuff. But I just don't have it's like something got sucked out of my brain. And so trying to tap into that, just it's like trying to use a limb that's not there.
Right.
And
No, and that's the thing. Like, I sit there and I watch, my kids with, being creative with art and being creative with, playing video games. Like we just talked about Mario Maker, but not Mario Maker, like Minecraft or whatever. And one of the big things we have going now is Tommy's like, I created a server. So we have a family server. We all have our own houses, and like it's really cool. It was his concept, whatever. And I was basically like last to the party to log in to build my house. And I see what everyone else has done, and I'm like, oh God.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I'm
dude,
so bad at this. Like, I'm just going to try. And I played Minecraft before, but my level of creativity, it's just not there, and it sucks. Like, I can be creative with anything else. You know me, like, I put together random weird graphics for our pod here. I've done things with, Photoshop and, doing some things with some audio work, very simplistically, mind you. I can be creative, I will say that. But to
right.
the level that I see my own children, I feel like I'm like a peasant and they're the king and queen.
Right. No, dude, absolutely. Because like I can sit here and I could write, like if I sat down, I could write a story. I could write, I could write a song, I could write a poem, I could write, anything that I needed to come up with. It may suck, but I could sit here and do it. Or it come up with a concept for like when we come up with concepts for podcasts, or when we come up for, like shit, some of the stuff that we say, even in our chat, it's just off the wall. Hell, remember we used to drive around and I would make up lyrics to songs as they would go. Like I can do that stuff. But when it comes to like playing with toys, playing the Mario Maker, playing Little Big Planet, or I really wish I could remember the name of that damn cart game. Um, and then there was the what was the other thing? Like, I'll give you another example. Free building with Legos. So getting a pile of Legos and trying to just like, all right, I'm gonna make an airplane. Like I'm sure I could do it. Would it be very good? Probably not. But if you put a pile of Legos in front of me, whatever I make isn't going to be as creative as what the kids make.
Exactly. And dude, I've seen that point blank. Like that's one of the things we've done at Cub Scouts several times. Like giant buckets of Legos, and you see like actually one of the things we do is I don't know if you're familiar with the Pinewood Derby.
Yeah.
So you can do that with Lego racers as well.
Oh, really?
It's not like, and it's like casual racing. It's not the actual part of the actual race for trophies and whatever, but you can build them out of Legos, and there's actually Lego wheels you can attach and run it down the same track. And to see some of that stuff that the kids make, man, it's awesome, you know. And the adults always try to outdo the kids, and it's like the kids always win. Like it's just it's not even close.
Yeah. No, I get it 100%. Like, and it sucks. It makes me sad because I wish that I could recapture that.
But it was funny. You sparked a memory for me, and one of the things that's like you did as a kid. Don't know if you do it. You know, don't know if you would do it as an adult unless you had kids or were around kids. You being a big wrestling fan, had a bunch of wrestling figures. Like one of the first things you do with all that stuff, to me anyway, is of course you create your own matches.
Right.
You're like a little 10-year-old booker, right? I mean, like that's what you do,
right?
Because they have the little belts and all that. I can't imagine having that level of creativity then, because I know back then I was like into, oh, who is this? I want to see this tag team, and I want to see this. I want to have this as my champion, or this person is my, whatever.
Right.
Like, it's just it's a whole different thing. And like to try to do something like that now, again, kind of go back to the video game thing. There are plenty of wrestling video games that allow you to book and that do that. And there was a game that came out in it's about 25 years ago now. But it was off of the Extreme Warfare Revenge series and video game wrestling, but it was text based, and I think it was actually called Extreme Wrestling Warfare Revenge or something. I can't remember the name of it now. Adam Ryland's the guy, and I think we've even talked about him on the pod before, many, many, many episodes ago. But that was about where it stopped for me. Like, I played that game years down the road and thought it was cool, but like, again, the peak for me for messing with that, I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, maybe. Just not there. Like,
yeah,
simple text-based stuff I couldn't even get through anymore. Like, it's just, it sucks, man. It's the level of creativity in certain things just fades, and I think it's, you get bogged down with work and responsibility, and it just fades away. And I think that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and that's what, and it's funny you mentioned wrestling games, because that's what I was gonna say. Like, even with wrestling games, like create a wrestler, I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to create a wrestler unless it's somebody that like I can, like, it's a hidden character that you can make. Like if Danhausen was in a WWE game,
Right.
like where his parts were hidden, like, and he was in the game, but it was an unofficial thing, then I would go through the trouble of making Danhausen. But like, I'm not gonna make my own character. And like with Madden and stuff like that, no, I don't give a shit about making my own character. I'm going to go in and I'm going to play franchise mode, because when I go into that, I basically just want to disassociate and disappear into football for a couple hours and play a couple games. I don't want to think about anything. I just want to kind of zone out and play football.
Almost like you're watching the game.
Right.
Basically.
And that's essentially what it is. Like, that's why I also, like, yeah, you know what? Could I play on all Madden? Yeah, I probably should be playing on a level. I think I play on pro or all pro or something like that. Should I be playing on a higher level? Yeah, probably. But I don't necessarily want it to be super challenging. I'm trying to relax.
Right.
So,
yep.
Like, and I've lost a game or two here and there, but by and large, I'm at least winning most of the time, winning handily, and it's because I want to just relax, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And shit, as it stands, they still pull bullshit anyway. Like I literally watched the replay. I challenged a play because I said no, there's no way that ball hit the ground. I watched the ball hit the ground and then zoom to the player that was laying on the ground, and they called it a completion. And they said, nope, the play's been ruled as called on the field. And I'm like, well, that's the bullshit. But
What are you gonna do? Break your TV?
yeah,
Which
yeah,
we have to
you know,
talk
I'm
about
not
that, by the way.
oh Jesus Christ. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not gonna.
No. I was talking about the you shared a video with Rich and I. There's a
Oh,
girl at the
oh
arcade,
yeah.
which it
Which
looked
looked
like a racer type game with like a 55-inch plasma or LCD or whatever it was,
yeah. It was
like
like
an
a
older style,
like a motorcycle or something.
right? Older style flat screen.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Hell, it could have been brand new, but it looked older. But so basically, the crux of this video is, she's like, it looks like security camera footage. This girl's playing this racer, and then gets all mad. I guess gets beat. I don't know what the thing is, but like smashes the screen, not very hard, but hard
No.
enough to break it,
Yeah.
and then just walks away. It's like,
Well, and then goes back and takes a selfie with it. Like,
yeah.
and look, let's be completely transparent here. Looked like it was like a Dave and Buster type place, like a place that
Right.
was serving alcoholic beverages. She was probably drunk, and she and her friend went back and took pictures with it, and it was posted online and by the company because they wanted to find out who it was to make sure that she was A, held responsible for it, and B, I'm assuming trespass from the property.
Right.
But so they posted on Facebook, and the amount of people defending her, like saying, "Oh, well, it should have been made stronger," or "Oh, there should have been some kind of protector built in front of it so that this didn't happen." Like it's on the manufacturer for not making it strong enough. Like, get the fuck out of here, please.
Okay. And this, there is a couple schools of thought here. One, look, if you're in your own home and you get all mad at a game or whatever, whether it's watching football, say if you're a Cowboys fan,
Yeah.
trying to maybe win a playoff game for the first time in several decades, let's just say that.
Yeah.
That if you want to break your own television, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But guess what? That was not her TV to break. And I think, and I was in our text thread about this, and we were, I think, in agreement on this. I don't know what it is. It's generational or whatever, but man, it's just, there's no responsibility.
Right.
And like, I just, it's like, look, if I did something like that, first of all, I want to do it, first of all, no
Right.
matter what my state of mind was. If I did anything like that, it'd be completely accidental. Like I was like running because somebody was chasing me or something, and I tripped over it and my head fell into it. That would be like my level of what would happen.
Right.
Like that's the only way I'm breaking it.
Exactly.
It's just a
Well,
game. I
I mean,
mean,
look, and I'll be honest, and this has happened one time to me. I have broken one controller because I was mad and I slammed it down. However, in my defense, it was a Mad Catz controller.
yeah, not really.
And it was made out of clear plastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's not really a controller.
yeah. I mean, have there been times when I've gripped my controller up like real fucking hard? I'm like, oh motherfucker, and I've like slammed it in my hand. Yeah. But there was only one time where I actually slammed it on the ground and broke it. And I was playing NFL Street 2 for the original Xbox. And I was using this little ass Mad Catz controller, and the fucking thing broke. And Yeah, I felt like an ass.
I melted one. That was the only time playing
You've,
Madden
me-
about 20 years ago.
you've melted one?
So came down for college, and I was with Nick, and proceeded to getting like we played a lot of NCAA,
Right.
and I don't know if it was Pete or I can't remember if it was Pete or one of his friends. I just don't remember. Anyway, we'd go back and forth. Like we were decent against each other. He would beat me, I'd beat him, whatever. Anyway, let's say it was one of his friends. I just can't remember. Anyway, got to halftime and playing Madden, and I was down like 35-0, and I just had it. Like I've just had it. Ripped my PS2 controller out of the system, and we had a grill going, and I threw we had a citronella candle that was like there, and I sat it on the grill, and then this is God's honest truth. Waited for that thing to start boiling, the wax, and I just dropped the controller right inside of it. And so yes, they don't
that's
come back.
amazing.
They don't come back from that. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
No. That's death sentence for PS2 controller.
I don't know that anyone else has ever done that on the planet, by the way.
Yeah, I can't. That specific chain of events, I do not think has ever been replicated. Nor do I think that unless somebody listens to this and hears it, do I think it will ever be replicated. Unless like you decide to do it.
Do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Like
that it
when
can
the
be
new-
done.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
not
when
gonna
the
lie. I
new-
was shocked how hot that got. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
like when I it was funny because I remember dropping it in, and then who knows how long it sat. Could have been 5 seconds. Could have been 5 minutes. All I know is I went to go pull the controller back out, and all I got was a wire. So
Now let me ask you this. Do you think you would ever do that with a DualSense?
oh no.
I was gonna say, because like, NFL or NCAA football or college football or whatever the fuck, EA college sports football,
Yeah, comes
whatever the
out
fuck
soon.
it's called.
Here's the thing, though, dude. It's funny how things change, especially you fast forward 20 years. Like, yeah, I'm getting mad, playing a game and something doesn't go my way. Like, that sucks or whatever. I just, but like, I get mad whenever the TV remote falls on the ground. So,
Yeah, that's true. Like, look, I'm not gonna lie, my anger has gotten worse, but it's also mellowed at the same time. So like the high isn't as high as it used to be, but the trigger point is much lower than it used to be.
exactly.
It's like the slightest inconvenience. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I'm more apt to go after an inanimate object that isn't going to cost me $100 to replace it.
yeah. Oh yeah. This is true. This is
Well, that
very
and here's the funny thing too. Speaking of which, Joy-Cons, you don't even have to do anything with. They just do it themselves.
Yeah.
So,
they just they suicide themselves.
I've
Joy-Cons.
had the I don't think I've had any kind of issues with any DualSense yet. Thank God. I did have an issue with a PS4 controller
Really?
that had a well, it wasn't the drift though. It was trigger. I think it was the R2 button, and it like basically it would stick every so often, and then finally it just stuck. Like it was like completely like I could probably have fixed it, but it was more of an annoyance. That was probably the only Sony controller I've ever had, other than the one I melted, that really had a problem.
The I've only had one. God, knock wood. Let me see. This is wood. Sorry, Scrappy. It was just me. It was me, buddy. Lay down. It was me, buddy.
Who's
No, he was laying down all nice and cute. Now he's getting up and walking to the door. Like, what? Sorry, buddy. I'm an idiot. But I've only had Microsoft. It was a 360 controller, believe it or not, that actually got drift. And aside from that, the only controllers I've had that have gotten drift have been fucking Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I've had several like it. I know we've talked about this on here before many times. I know you went to the Dreamcast magnetic style. What was that called again?
Oh no, Hall Effect. I
Hall
didn't.
Effect.
I
I'm
didn't buy
sorry.
the Hall Effect ones.
Oh, okay. No.
No, I just bought the normal ones and I replaced them with the normal ones just because the Hall Effect wasn't released yet.
Oh, okay.
But
That is magnetic, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's magnets. How do they work?
Yeah.
It took a second there. I was like, oh fuck. That joke landed like a wet turd.
I'll put in some sound effects or something.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I had probably 4 or 5 of them sitting there, not pairs, but just individual ones,
Right.
that have an issue. And it's funny. It's a mixed bag. Like you would think that it would be predominantly whatever your strong hand is, but it just seemingly doesn't matter. For me anyway, I think I have maybe. I do want to say I have at least 4, maybe 5 that I could think of, and I know that I have 2 and 2 of each at least. Like I'm looking over because I can see them sitting there.
Well, let me
in
ask
the
you
line.
this. Have you had any batteries go bad in them?
No, I've not actually.
So we've had so far 2 of them where the batteries have bulged. And
Really?
the way that I knew was we were playing Mario Party, and you know the game where you got the little beef cube, and you have to like flip the
Flip
pan.
it. Yeah.
So the way you know that you've got to flip it is it vibrates. It wasn't vibrating, and it was because the battery was so bulged, it made it so it couldn't vibrate anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I had no idea. And I'm like, well, why the fuck? And then so I took it afterwards. I took it and I stood it next to one of the ones that worked, and I could see the bulge in the plastic. And I squeezed a little bit. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not bad, or that's not good.
Ooh.
So I was able to order new batteries too.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So you can order batteries and replace the batteries too. But yeah, that's something else you got to watch out for with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I've not had any bad. Of course, the sticks tend to be I think the first thing that goes, and I haven't played the Switch a lot lately, so who knows? We may have a battery issue at some point on one.
Yeah.
But no, I actually played some more Wipeout Omega Collection tonight. I did download Fallout 4 again and started playing that a little bit. Mainly because TV show, but other than that, I really haven't played a lot. We've been in trip prep mode because we're doing our big summer vacation here in about a month. I just I feel that my gaming is going to even wane even further. I'll probably just play some more Wipeout. That's probably going to be about it.
Yeah, that's I've been playing Madden. I haven't played much Starfield lately. Which I am gonna need to dig in, I guess not this weekend because I work all weekend, but next week, hopefully I'll get a chance to dig in some because there's an update coming out and they're doing a lot of quality life updates. So I'm gonna have to dig in on that and give a report. But been playing that. I've been playing Madden and Kirby and the Forgotten World. I went back to that, and then Dr. Mario on the Virtual Console, and then what was the other thing that I was playing? Oh, I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, which is the newest, and I say newest, it came out in like 2013 or something like that. Arcade version, like arcade game. And it's kind of like a throwback to the Turtles in Time and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game from back in the day. It's kind of like a throwback to them, but with the newer, and I say newer again, with the Ninja Turtles from the 2000s that were on Nickelodeon, like
Right.
2000s and early 2010s. So it's pretty cool though. Like I played it in the arcade, and I'm looking forward to digging in at home. It's the same exact game. It's a direct port. There's nothing added to it. There's nothing, special about it, but it was just a fun game. So, looking forward to playing some of that. And, uh, aside from that, just getting ready to move.
Yeah, I
Hopefully.
got you. I got you. Yeah, no. So, yeah, we're in trip prep mode. We leave in a month or so, from the time this is posted, anyway. That's about it. It's just been, because we're on the road for so long. It just trying to get all that squared away. So I know that it's going to be, whatever, with time and trying to get to play anything. But no, it's actually been fun playing Wipeout again. I had just one of those games that I hadn't really touched in many, many years, and it's cool. And I think I've said it on here before. It's cool because I can play for like 5 minutes or 30 minutes and step away and then come right back. It's I like games like that. Always have, and forgot how fun that was, and I forgot how like some of the different variations that came out over the years that I never even bothered playing with because I just never thought about it at that point in time. So it's cool to revisit that.
Right.
And it's like kind of like discovering a music album that is new to you, but it came out 15 years ago, and it's like, oh, cool, and I dig
Yeah.
this. It's not my favorite game of all time, but it's certainly
Cool.
something that's enjoyable for me because I like the racing, I like destruction. So
Well, speaking of music, I want to close this up here with a meme regarding a very popular song from its day that I came across. And as we were discussing, you and I were discussing off pod, we're old, so memes tend to get to us much later than they normally do. This one apparently came out around like 2018 or something, so we're finally getting to it in due time. But it says in Flo Rida's song "Low," he states that Shorty's wearing the apple bottom jeans, the boots with the fur, and the Reeboks with the straps. So what is she? Some kind of four-legged morph woman? A centaur? In all honesty, I'm not surprised the whole club was looking at it. And so that got me thinking. Like, yeah, what the hell was going on there? Do you care to venture a guess? I know the actual answer. I found out the actual answer.
yeah, no, we were talking about off, and like you should have said that. I was like, all I could think of was like you're entering cryptid territory here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to actually fathom a real guess because now my head is automatically like cryptid. So
Yeah,
I just that's where I'm at.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that should be the right answer. That should be the correct answer here is that it's cryptid. But no. So apparently somebody asked T-Pain. They're like, "Yeah, what you got to explain this to us because nobody understands what's going on here." And he said apparently that the apple bottom jeans girl is the kind of girl, the classy girl or trendy girl that Flo Rida likes. And the one that was wearing the sweatpants and the Reeboks with the straps are the girls that T-Pain likes. And he called them, and I quote, fucking slobs.
Huh.
So,
Wow.
So on that note,
Wow.
happy Mother's Day. Because it is Mother's Day as we record this. So, yeah, if you're the kind of girl who likes Reeboks with the straps and the and sweatpants, then go get you some of T-Pain.